Are we back? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trackmania World Tour cast. What a game that was. I've only barely had time to catch my breath, prep some notes, and we're ready to go for the next game. The action continues.
The action continues. The next game is gonna be, if we can put it up on screen, it's gonna be Berlin International Gaming versus Sinners. This is gonna be a very interesting game. If you guys weren't here yesterday, Berlin International Gaming, big. They played against Solary, unfortunately lost 4 maps in a row, so they're back today to show that they're not going to be pushed around.
I think that match was a bit of a first pancake. Didn't we call it that?
Yeah.
The second pancake is often better, and they're going up against a very strong team. Sinners also lost their game, but they did impress a lot with their performance in maps like Flip of Faith, and they show us as a team, they're a team that likes to pick a bit more of these unorthodox maps.
Unorthodox maps, yes, but as you said, both these teams, they did lose yesterday, so they both have something they want to prove. Looking at the stats of the teams on the maps that they played, at least in my opinion, they look very evenly matched.
Yeah, I think so. In terms of the median pace on tracks, in terms of their peak pace as well, both teams have this potential to drive really fast, but choose to go for the more consistent, like more mature approach. And if you look at the age of the players as well, Massa, 27, you have Kappa and Tween, both very young, 27 as well.
Young.
We have a literal child in Grenadi being 20, apparently, according to the age metric we're using here. But really, it comes down to this experience of playing so many matches, hundreds of hours on stage experience, that you know exactly where your limit's at.
Absolutely, and I do think that Big might actually have a slight advantage because Big only played 4 maps yesterday, which means that Sinners have less information about their pace. They have less information about what they should ban or what they should pick. One thing, though, is that Big, at least from what I've seen, are pretty open on the leaderboards about their pace if you look at the clubs.
I think that's the big hope. Yeah, we just lost 4-0 to not reveal our strats.
I mean, I'm not saying that's why they did it. I'm just saying that that's a fact, that they just have less information.
Hey, I mean, we speed ran it to keep our strats for game 2. No, honestly, I don't know. We'll see. I have heard of rumors of hidden lines all throughout the teams. We have picks and bans coming through right now. We're going to jump into it. If you had to ban one map here against Grenadi and Massa, they're banning Gyroscope as the first one.
Oh, okay.
Not the one I expected.
I think what Big is gonna play at Reps as well banned. I mean, we saw
snipes.
Yeah, we saw that these are some. Yeah, that's actually true. Kappa did a lot of snipes. We might actually see Flip of Faith at that point because Kappa did so well. I think Big might be going with Freestyle. Even though they lost against,
they were fast.
They were still very fast, especially Grenadi driving the fastest time of yesterday.
They had some good rounds on back and forth too. I think a good map for them, but Freestyle definitely coming through.
Freestyle was picked.
We could see Flip of Faith now, as you said. Also think Agility Dash is something we might see from the teams.
Yeah, but like definitely Freestyle. Grenadi drove the fastest time yesterday on Freestyle versus Solary, and both the players did really well. Flip of Faith would be a good pick. Back and Forth was picked though there by Sinners, and I mean back and forth. We've seen the map. We've seen that the pace. It's a very pace-based map. They don't fail too much on that map.
They really don't. They're consistent. It's drivable. The backwards part, they had some good lines with that no airtime as well, and they did push Solary on it. You see Slippy Slides being the third map. That is also very interesting that it's coming through. The 4th map, Slow Down now, picked by Sinners, and the Grenadi's left to pick the 5th. Are we even going to see Flip of Faith?
So the question is Slowdown picked because they saw Big's pace against Solary? Now we got, what did we get picked there? I didn't see it. Parkour.
And Arrow Pipes, if it ever gets to the 6th map. Arrow Pipes being the final pick there from Sinners.
Yeah, and then Agility Dash with the random pick. I mean, this is a good map pack. We're getting missed on Gyroscope again. No, it's not. Wait. Holy. No, that's my bad. We get missed on Flip of Faith. We thought that was gonna be picked.
Looking back, it almost seems like it was a counter pick against KC. Like they thought we could beat them here on this type of map. Bren was good there though. And now, against this German team, they are going for different maps. They're going for back and forth, slow down, arrow pipes. Maybe these are the maps they can do it on.
I think so too. Unfortunately, we're gonna get Reps and Gyroscope out of the loop. Gyroscope is my favorite map, as I've said multiple times. I think it's so wicked, it looks great. But it does look like it's a favor to ban that one. We see that banned quite a lot.
If we get to Parkour, though, which is map 5, that would be also a very exciting treat to have in this game. Taking a little bit of a look at the pace here on the first map is going to be Freestyle. That was picked. And Sinners here, their average pace is 109.6 and their best time 108.06. Whereas Big here, their median pace was 108.43, 6 tenths faster, and their best is 107.6 by Grenadi, that time we talked about, almost the world record.
Which was really fast. Yeah, Grenadi is so fast on this map. Hopefully, I mean, Masa, I'm sure he's also practiced, but I think this is what we talked about when you have 2 players on a team, you can be tactical. I think Grenadi is going to be the one who's going to try to see if he can carry, and then Masa will be the support player, trying to get that 2nd or 3rd place to lock it out.
Yeah, as far as the public leaderboards go, Grenadi actually has the world record on this. 107.49 is the time to remember, the digits that Grenadi has on the leaderboard. But for all we know, Tween and Kappa could have faster times in private. And we're again going to go through the round here. But we've taken this start a bit for granted, I feel like. Oftentimes, it is not that easy to get past this no steering block. So let's see the players get past that obstacle first of all. Yeah. Lining up through the turn here. And then that angle needs to be exactly on the reset. All 4 make it. And it's Grenadi, the guy with the pace, in last here.
Let's see if there is some differences in this line right now. Yes, both Grenadi and Masa go really low. Kappa went super high. And let's see who gets actually the best amount of speed and momentum on the uphill here. Kappa for Sinners. Actually, the entirety of Sinners' team will be in the lead going into the ending. But Grenadi seemed to excel here in the identity. Will he show us how he did it last time? Getting closer to Tween, actually overtaking, but not quite making the jump.
3 mistakes. Masa, the only player getting through that clean. Tween and Kappa have to hope for a draw here, both going for the flip. And where is Grenadi? Does he have the speed to get there? Wait!
Oh, Masa made a
failed! And it's an ace!
It's an ace on Berlin International Gaming's map of choice. Sinners starting out with a solid 3-pointer.
And with a 1:10 as well. That's something we have not seen. Almost 3 seconds behind the world record pace. It's not a clean win, but a win is a win, and they will take that happily instead of getting aced when they both made mistakes. That just shows the variance of crashing in the optimal rounds.
Yeah, it happens, but now Big can show up once again. Grenadi does seem to be in the back going into the no-steer section. Is anybody gonna make a mistake? Does not look like it. All of them driving through that super clean.
They got through it. Here we saw Grenadi do this ice slide lineup. Tween and Kappa tend to jump a lot higher and land with the fourth gear before the turn, and then try to carry that through this uphill, whereas Grenadi gears mid-turn. So here, we will see the differences play out and equalize at this checkpoint. Kappa very close to Masa up front. Now let's hope for a cleaner identity. Tween getting a lot more speed into that wall ride. Good entrance, but he goes very early. Masa, though, hitting the back wheel, still not losing too much speed. Tween will get ever closer, looking for that win. The 360, actually, to get into the finish, and they will ace again.
Another ace with Team Sinners. This is not what you want to see if you're a big fan. Or a Berlin International Gaming fan. You can be a big fan of Sinners and you'll be super happy about this. This is a crazy start and very unfortunate for Berlin International Gaming.
Oh, and Masa not getting the line in the start. The meltdown here is taking place. They need to stop the bleeding right now. We talked about Grenadi's pace. He needs to find that immediately. A win here would give them a draw and a small chance of coming back in the map. But if not, this is looking like Sinners will take the first map.
Yeah, but the important part now is that Masa and Grenadi, they cannot start the tilt. They have to reassess the situation. They have to just take a step back, look at it, and then come back even stronger. The last thing you're gonna have happen right now is get salty about just a few mistakes when you have the pace to come back in front.
Look at the speed from Grenadi from that line. It plays out all the way until here, and now into the downhill. We will see if he can come back and take a win. Low speed through that booster, up the hill now, getting onto the wall. down into that landing. Kappa far ahead. They are not going to be able to pass him, I believe, even though he does the 360. Granati sniping it away, and it's actually going to be first for him, and a draw. At least they're not going to lose yet.
Great snipe there coming in from Granati, showing us just how much time you can save if you get one of those low lines there, jumping from the wall right into the quarter pipe and saving his team from another ace. Now it's 1-7, still looking very, very dangerous if you're big, but they can come back. They can ace twice back. Maybe we have seen something similar happen before. Just because you're ahead doesn't mean you've won, and Masa now in the lead.
Yeah, they had a promising round there, except for the crash from Masa. That was very clean from Granati up front, able to snipe it away from Kappa, but the overall pace from the Czech and the Slovakian player has been felt here by the German squad. Even though the mistakes have been in all the rounds, they're still really keeping up all the way before the mistakes happen. Here, Tween up in first, Kappa battling for third. We'll see the ending once again decide this round, but Masa and Granati are in an A situation right now.
Yeah, it's good to see them in the lead going into the identity. Can they maintain this pressure? I think they can. Tween trying to get in front. Not quite making it. Was that a 360 attempt? I don't think he made it. I think he clipped a little bit, but Kappa is still in the fight. Can Granati get this ending? Kappa also with a mistake, and it's gonna be the ace for Berlin International Gaming.
Showing good mental fortitude here. Once you lose 2 rounds and go down 6-0, it can be very tilting to have that happen to your team. Therefore, it is so important for them to get an ace and show that, you know what, this map is not over yet. We can still win it. And if they get another ace here, they'll be equal. Just a draw and 2 aces for either side.
So, I mean, they see the light at the end of the tunnel here. They're hopefully getting some more. I'm so happy that they could shake off those losses, those aces right there, and come back with another ace of their own. Shows great mental stability from the players here just to be able to do that, and they're hoping to do it again.
They're hoping to get it all right, just like they have practiced for hundreds of hours before the league started, grinding these 10 maps together, lining up all the strats that they would use in the match, and then you can fall down 2 aces in the first 2 rounds, and suddenly what's really happening here, though? They found their footing, and now, if they cannot lose this round, as it looks right now, it's an ace for Sinners about to happen. They need to get good speed up the wall. Masa, good slides there, getting just a little bit more speed with those wiggles. He's joining Granati in what looks to be an ace for Big, reversing the roles twice in a row here. Masa 360 to get it.
Oh, so worried that Masa made a small mistake, but he still gets it, and they equalize the score. You love to see it coming in here for Berlin International Gaming, 7-7, and now the next ace could determine the match.
This is something we haven't seen before. Oftentimes, it's like a normal win or a draw. Here's just ace, 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 ace. We have all 4 aces now on the board, but maybe someone has an extra ace up their sleeve here in the last round. If they win now with that, that would be map 1 concluded. Let's see what's gonna happen. Into the nose here. No players have failed this yet. Good angles from all the players. Sinners doing a synchronized line there on the inside, overtaking Granati before the ice jump, where we know differences will be seen. Different jump, high line from Kappa, temporarily losing a little bit, gaining it back here, and then losing a little bit here as Granati gets good speed up that hill. Equal pretty much across all 4 players into the checkpoint, and the wall ride remains. Kappa with a late drift. That puts a lot of pressure on Tween. Needs to hold first place against the 2 German players. First jump, he clips a little bit, but he has more speed than both Granati and Masa. Should be a pretty solid win here if he can get the last jump right. 360 though, and he gets past.
Oh, and Granati and Masa get the ace. That 360 just cost him a little bit too much speed. We are looking at 1/100ths of a second separating Masa and Tween, and Berlin International Gaming taking home that first track.
This was a battle of the aces. Started out first round with big mistakes from Big, letting the Sinners catch up to Masa here in that last jump and get 3 full points, and then right back, Granati was able to stop the bleeding in the 0-6 scenario when he sniped away this win from Kappa. You can see so far behind, and then Kappa daring to save that 360 costs him the round by just a few hundreds. And the last replay is Big acing here on round 4, which really started the momentum that set them up to take the map. I never saw them winning this one.
No. I thought the momentum was gone there for a second, but they ended up turning it around. Almost looked scripted, right?
Almost. Producer's making it look a little obvious here. We need to reel back the writing, but here we are on back and forth. Coming from the match that we just saw between Solary and BDS, we have seen a lot of expectations for pace now. 58.3.4, still formidable times if that was what we're going to see. But if someone can get towards 57, then that would also be very impressive here.
Yeah, I think it was Sinner's map pick going into this map, but Grenadier and Masa are showing up here on the first round, being half a second ahead of the opponents. Tween not getting the same amount of exit speed right there, not getting the momentum he needs to catch back up to the big players. Grenadier and Masa on a great lead going into the identity. We have the backward section now. I think Masa actually lost a little bit of speed right there, but Grenadier in a solid lead. Masa still 0.6 ahead of Tween. I don't think Tween is going to be close enough. Actually, Tween made a mistake, and now it's going to be just Masa and Kappa, or sorry, Masa and Grenadier in the lead against Kappa, and Tween getting that first ace.
Yeah, they're winning by a second here. Great start for Grenadier. He was on pace for 58 mid, then had to release a bit in the ending just to save the round. I think that was called by the team, because he had the trajectory, but he decided to play it extra safe and secure an ace. It paid off. Next round, though, now the Sinners got a better start. Kappa and Tween right up there with Grenadier. They're all doing that delayed gear, but the one detail here that Offie had was going so far out in the water pool to the left. We're not seeing that.
We're not seeing that indeed, but all the players are doing this quite well. And once again, we actually see Team Berling International Gaming here in first and third. Only Tween trying to take care of... Oh, did we see somebody slide out just a little bit there in the back? Grenadier still has the lead though, but Kappa will be quite far behind. Hopefully Tween can maintain this defense.
He will try to catch up to Grenadier. The pace is going to have to be amazing in the last turns. He's getting an inside trajectory there. That is better than Grenadier. Inside line here as well, and he has a chance. Last uphill. Oh, that is a big crash. Kappa might even be able to catch up. Not quite. It is a draw. Tween gets an important win there.
Yeah, that was important for Tween. Very nice snipe. Even if it was just going consistent and safe, he did that very, very clean. Made sure he could get into the finish without touching a pillar, ultimately giving them the draw. Now going into the next round here, take a look at the gears. Fourth gear right here, delaying the gear to get it on this straight. Actually, Kappa did not get it right there, but still pushing him all the way to the top. You gotta think, do they purposely not get that fifth gear, or do they delay it, do you think?
I think they could get it if they wanted to, but it makes the next turn very difficult to manage. Kappa, upside down. We see him falling down, and now we see two blue cars up ahead again. This is the match of the aces, and the players from Team Sinners are so far behind that we are going to see the roles being fully reversed. Now Big on map 2 will have a 7-1 lead. Bar something disastrous happening here. I'm totally not going to caster curse them. But I think we are going to have Big at a 7-1 score, and it is now their opportunity to have such a demanding lead.
Yeah, 7-1 is the complete opposite of what happened last time. Sinners had a 7-1 lead on Big's map choice. Now Big has a 7-1 lead on Sinners' map choice. I mean, maybe they do the reverse ace twice in a row now. You never know.
Well, we know we've seen Germans be up 7-1 before, and that time they did go on to win the World Cup final, actually. So the script writers are getting creative here. In almost 10 years, maybe it's time for a repeat. Who knows? Sinners, though, gonna try to stop them. Kappa again with a fast start, going for that inside line here in the water pool. Will get caught up to as his trajectory is quite wide. Tween will again have the best line here, catching up to the two blue players. They have to get this jump right. They failed it a lot of times. They cannot go too low again, and this time the adjustment has come through. This will be a close round. and Tween has to try to get some positions here.
He does have a little bit more speed than Masa and will get closer and closer. He might be able to just touch his tail right now, going into the identity, going way too inside, and he clips. And now it's going to be down to Kappa maintaining that lead. Grenady is so close to him, though. Getting a more inside line, might be able to just do it, but he needs to get this left-hander. Well, he does get it so well. Actually, with the overtake, Grenady just sniping Kappa, giving the team the win.
I want you to know, Grenady plays on a steering wheel, and that he did on a keyboard. Into the backwards part here, he changes to driving on keyboard, and he just beat the 2018 keyboard world champion in the ending.
No, that is true. That is true. Kappa is a keyboard player and a previous world champion, and Grenady is a mix and match player. He will play on a wheel most of the time, but on specific situations, also that backward section, he quickly switches to the keyboard. Very, very impressive done. Like, just to be able to win over Kappa there, that's crazy.
But here, Kappa on keyboard for the entirety of the run will be ahead of the hybrid setup from Grenady. Kappa also known to play on a hybrid setup in seasons of the past, where he would use controller and keyboard for certain parts, but keyboard is the device of choice. And now on his teammate, they need 3 aces in a row. The first one here is possible, but Grenady and Masa are hunting Tween down right here. More speed into the backwards part. Tween gonna need exceptional lines on the inside. The Kappa has disappeared from the field of view. He is out of it. Tween trying his best, but this should be a win for Berlin International Gaming as they go up to the finish. They will get the draw secured, and they will take map 2.
That is 2 maps in a row for Berlin International Gaming. They started off on a very rocky start, giving away 2 aces on the first map almost immediately, but they're coming back very, very strong.
Great performance there. We will have some replays. This map, characterized, I think, by the ice jump in the middle, was the crux for the Sinners players, as they could not get that jump in several rounds and got aced because of it, just going a little too low on this alignment, and that is a big mistake from Kappa. I think this is the round he flipped upside down and cost his team some points.
And now we're looking at Grenady do this. He is super consistent, and on ice he will usually switch on that input. Talking about that as well, he switched on the input in the ending with the next replay, where we're gonna see him snipe Kappa right there in the end. We're gonna see that in a second here.
Looks like we will have it coming up here. Keyboard taps back and forth for the wheel player. Beautiful approach into these corners. And then that last uphill, the tighter you go, the better. And he hit the perfect timing, taking that one away. Great showing for Grenady. Next map up is Slippy Slides. It's picked by Berlin International Gaming. And we're just starting out already.
Yeah, we're going straight into it. That's great from production side, being able to show us some of those really, really critical moments in the matches while we wait for the next match to start. And we can jump straight into it. Going into Slippy Slides here. Tween is in the lead. We'll try to avoid any sort of airtime here. Grenady going more straight. Actually, I think that's the better line. Gaining a little bit of time on Tween right now. But I think just because they have some different lines, it must be due to the safing or the risky strats here coming in. Going into this without drifting. Grenady getting it a little bit better. He will catch up to Tween once again, but it's going to be down to the bug slides.
It's going to be down to the bug slides. I want to tell you, the last time Berlin played this, it was disastrous. They had an average time of 1:16, whereas now we're seeing 1:11s from the other team, so they really have to minimize the amount of mistakes. They've done that in this first round. No crashes. Now the bug slides are coming through. Kappa chasing Grenady, has a better approach for the first one. Jumping wide here, though. Grenady on the inside line. Mossa passing him as well with a wicked bug slide, and they are going to ace to start us off.
Once again, Big with a crazy good time as well, and the ace.
The ace is on the board. We're going to start this round with Tween and see if he can keep up with the field here. He did so in the first round, but that was a really close ending as we look now and see what they can do into the next round. Sinners, they've gotten ace a lot of times here, and they need to be able to get in between or ahead of the Berlin players.
Yeah, hopefully they can, but it's looking really good for Big. Do you think that they might be able to get those 4 maps in a row like they lost last time? They lost 4-0 last time. Can they win 4-0 this time?
What a good redemption arc it would be for Big, because I think a lot of people have great expectations for them this season. They are great players, and then Solary made, you know, a really incredible match happen, winning 4-0. Now they are looking like the dominant team, but Sinners kept up with them on the previous map, back and forth. Was quite close for a while. Kappa very wide here in this turn, leaving Masa and Granati far ahead. Tween, though, is right there, but he needs to get better bug slides, starting with a wide approach, really wide there in the landing, but able to get grip. Masa and Granati inside lines is what they've been doing.
Oh, this is
Tween
risky.
doesn't have the angle. He might get aced again. He's going to get in between and prevent the worst that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a tight inside line there in the ending. They might as well just have failed that. I think they actually just inched away from that corner there. So definitely super risky, but they made it work. Big 5-1 against Sinners, looking really good.
They're looking great. They have so much to prove. And the pace is not that insane, but it's enough to win. And that's what matters most. That they have gotten these 112s that are enough to beat players consistently. And now we will see them try once again. Momentum on their side. The winds of victory blowing in their direction. Just needs to keep up the pressure. Not let any point slip. Not let any silly mistake happen. Things they have not done in practice. Do not let the pressure of the match get to them. We're going into the ending with, once again, the 2 big players in first and second.
If they get this match point or this ace, they can go up to match point, and they're looking really, really strong. About 0.4 down to Tween right now. Looking really good, getting these bug slides in unison. Such a nice team effort. Kappa right behind Tween is making a few mistakes. Now we see Granati and Masa going into the identity all alone here in the lead, a second ahead of the other players. All they need to do is save these things. Oh, Masa almost sliding out. I think he's making it, but it is hard to tell here from the right side of the screen. They're gonna get that ace, and it's gonna be 8-1 for Berlin International Gaming.
Dominant here. Dominant 112s. Kappa and Tween missing the consistency on Slippy Slides. This was picked by Big, and it's showing to be a really strong map for them against Sinners specifically.
Yes. So now Berlin International Gaming looking to close out this map 8-1. That's kind of a stomp right now. Looking really, really good. All they need to do is get a first and third or a first and second, and they're going to close out Slippy Slides against Sinners.
And I want to remind people that in Trackmania Esports tier lists, people have often had Masa as a make or break player. He is so fast when he wants, or in rounds that he doesn't crash it, but oftentimes he will crash. What I'm trying to say is he's not that consistent. People have put question marks on his consistency for ages, going back to 2016. Now I think we're seeing a very mature Masa. He has not crashed that many times. Their average was 116 before this game, but he's driven 112 every single round here and really been that leader for the team that Granati needs on his side.
You love to see it coming in from Masa, and while you were talking, he's doing it once again. He is in the lead. Hopefully he can clutch out that ending once again. Kappa and Tween, they need to maintain that second and third place. Because if anything else, if Granati overtakes just one person, Berlin International Gaming will be taking home this victory. Masa getting just clean lines. It is a little bit wide. He extended the slide there in the ending. Actually, he could have slid out, but I think that was very nicely played there. It's going to be a draw. Big are now at 9 points.
Consistent 112s. That's what we like to see. Their average on this map is going to improve tremendously after this game is over. Sinners, though, it's not over yet. They need 3 aces in a row, and a mistake there from Masa. Breaking that hot streak rather, gives them an opportunity.
But it is still not safe for Sinners. Sinners know that if Granati doesn't get third, if both the big players are not in the last spots, they've won this map, and they win 3 maps in a row. So if Granati can just get second place, they're still gonna get the map win.
Yeah, he has passed Tween now and is in that winning position. Masa's done a lot of work. Granati has been consistent in the 112s too. Now, can he do it in this round. 3-0, they would feel so comfortable going into map 4. And he just needs to get these bug slides. 4 of them in total. First one is pretty clean. Very inside line though. Tween with more speed. Catching up and overtaking, but Kappa made a mistake up front, giving Grenadi back to second place before the identity.
Yeah, and now going into the identity. Oh, we have a slide out from Tween, and now Grenadi just needs to hit the finish. He's actually on first, getting some really nice slides here. That is a very tight landing. Grenadi taking home the victory. Masa will take home last place. That is enough for Berlin International Gaming, going up to 10 points and getting the victory.
A 1-1-2, 1-2, and they're gonna go up to 3 maps now. Great showing for Big in Slippy Slides.
Yeah, even though they didn't start off great on the first map, they start off great here on the third one with an ace.
This match has been so many aces. Again, we see it on Slippy Slides. Here in the start, looked pretty good for Sinners, but then comes Masa out of the frame, just in the inside trajectory to take the round. 112's there, and again characterized another ace. Here they're going together into the bug slides, and they cross the line in this round. About 5 thousandths of a difference, the two players.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, they're doing so well. We're already into the next map, Slowdown. We did see Big play Slowdown yesterday. They did do well, but they did lose against Solary. But losing against Solary is not actually like losing, like it is. They still performed really well.
What matters is their pace in that loss. So they had 57.6 as the average, and their best time 56.9. On this map, you really want times under 57 seconds. And keep in mind, they did not know of Solary's strategy. That one line where you go in between the trees at the end.
Oh, we might see that.
If
yes,
they've added that to their repertoire, they could actually have the upper hand here against Sinners, who have not played this map too much yet in the tournament. Grenadi now in first. We see Masa in second. Good start for the Berlin squad.
Yes, and we're getting closer to the identity here. We're gonna look for one more right-handed drift, and then they're gonna drive over a fragile block. That is why the players cannot get any airtime, because they might destroy their car. Now, none of the players are gonna go for that line that Solary went for, but Masa still in the lead. Grenadi with a slight mistake, letting Tween and Kappa overtake, ending up in a draw.
56.81 from Masa. Tween actually did that trajectory.
Oh, he
out
did.
Out of the few that we had, he did get a 56.9 with it. So the standard has been set, 56.8. Kappa and Tween both actually played this against KC, and they lost that set. Also driving their best times right under 57 seconds. They've improved their pace already, both teams.
Yeah, but I think, you know, once you see the other players play, you're kind of forced to improve just a little bit, because yesterday's pace was incredible, and today's pace is even better.
Let's not forget that Tween and Kappa, though it is 3-0, they are very experienced on the Trackmania Esports stage, and they have been just as far behind and down as this in the past, and come back and won. One match that comes to mind is the Serrator Cup quarterfinals of last year, where they valiantly fought and almost won the tournament, going very far together as a squad. Here, they're teaming up again. Kappa on the inside line to pass Grenadi. Less speed though, and Grenadi's gonna take it right back, but a nice try from Kappa. 56.94.
That was a clutch ending though for Grenadi. He really could have gotten airtime so easily after that last checkpoint, but he did adjust right in the right moment to make sure that he kept that ground contact and could accelerate all the way into the finish line. very nicely done from Grenadi.
Yeah, and just thinking about the line he's doing there is exceptionally risky. He's going for more speed up the hill, which is already hard to keep ground contact on. That's why he goes out wide. If he succeeds, it's faster. But if he doesn't, if he gets any airtime at all, it's slower. And the identity here, the obstacle part, it doesn't look that special as other maps, but it has a fragile block. If you get any airtime, if your car jumps at all, it will land and brake and be much slower after that landing. So they are reducing airtime at all costs. And here though, mistake from Kappa adds an opportunity for Berlin to ace.
It does, and if they get another ace on this map, we could look at them get those 4 map wins in a row. And right now, Grenady and Massa are multiple tenths ahead, but Tween going for that line in between the trees that you talked about, actually overtaking Grenady. Is Grenady going to get the speed back? He is, and it's the ace for Berlin International Gaming.
So in sync once again, 100th between the two teammates, and playing like this with your friends, knowing that you're sitting there, you're both going at the exact same lightning quick speed on the maps and getting points together must feel great working as a squad. Yesterday they took a big defeat, but today we're seeing a very different squad.
Ooh, that was a mistake there coming in from Big.
Ooh,
Grenady making a mistake.
back.
Tween also making a mistake. Is Grenady going to be able to overtake? That would make it a lot better. Massa fighting with Kappa there, up in the lead for the first place. Big just looking to close in a few more points. They're up. Even if they just get first and third, they put themselves on match point.
They would. Just 2 points needed. Grenady would have to get past here. Kappa really has to beat Massa here to start that comeback. They need to find momentum from somewhere. 3 maps seems like a lot, and it starts with a single one. Starts with this round. Starts as soon as you're able to find an advantage against the opponent team. Kappa here, more speed up the line into the drift here. Does he have more speed to the finish? He looks like he should take first. Tween gets third. They are going to get a little closer.
Yeah, they are going to get a little closer. It's going to be 6-4. Still looking dangerous for Sinners. Sinners is getting a lot of pressure put on their shoulders right now because they're forced to get an ace or something soon to put themselves in front of Big. You can't keep getting these draws. You can't keep letting them get just those few points. You need to take points away from them.
Tween now trying his best to hold on. That mistake early almost cost them. If Grenady hadn't crashed, the round would look very different. And they are given a second chance at this. Now Massa with the mistake, calling that out to Grenady, telling him to go for the win, go all in for first. Gets a good bobsleigh entry. Grenady down the hill he goes. He has about 0.2 of a second to work with on the trajectory. Let's take a look at how he holds this up, because we know he goes for that wide line. It's gonna get very interesting in the ending if he's gonna remain ahead or not. Starts with this wide drift, carry speed into the downhill. Wide setup here to carry more speed across this uphill, and then all the way out to the right here. Look how wide he goes. Looks like they're catching up, but then the exit speed to the finish. Grenady strong up in first place.
Yeah, that speed up into the finish there actually looks really good. I think it might be worth it. Also because you drive over quite a lot of penalty grass if he goes as high as he did there. So it's both a safer strat, and I think it might be a little bit faster.
We are at 8-5, 3 maps to none, and 2 more points necessary for Berlin to win this set 4-0.
Yeah, and a complete opposite showing from yesterday would be great for them, not just for the points, but also just for the mental, knowing that they can take down great players and previous world champions.
And think about how this match started. It started with 2 aces for Sinners, and already then I was feeling like, uh-oh, this is dangerous for Big. How quickly they recovered, started building momentum and winning 1 map, 2 maps, 3 maps, and here almost winning a 4th. It's really, really showing some maturity and expertise and experience in the matches to know that, okay, we can reset, we can get this.
Yeah, there's such a big mental game coming into this.
Here we go.
Right now we see the identity once again being played. We see Massa coming in there from the right side. Oh, they're so close going into the last section. Will Grenady's exit speed make him get that first place in the ending? Not quite. He made a mistake, and Sinners survived just 1 more round. If they ace it now, they can take the map win.
They have 1 chance and 1 chance only. It will end after this round, regardless of what happens. Sinners need an ace.
They need an ace indeed, and Big, as long as they don't get the bottom 2 positions, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna look to see if they can...
Mistake.
Ooh, was that
Tween as well. Tween made a mistake as well. That is crucial, because it means that Massa is the saving grace right now. So long as he stays ahead of Tween, they cannot recover, and it is 0.7 of a second. And otherwise, quite pace-based map. That is really tough.
Yeah, he got told by Grenady right now. I'm sure that Grenady said you have 0.7 seconds to work with. You do not need to full risk. You do not need to drive too close to the corners. Just get into the finish without getting that airtime in the end.
And it's so interesting that a match where it's all about consistency ends with Masa having to be as consistent as possible to show how he has leveled up his game for this season, and he will do so effortlessly by the looks of it. Big win, 4-0.
4-0. What a great showing there from Birding International Gaming, winning 4 maps in a row. Absolutely great comeback from yesterday where they lost 4 maps in a row against Solary, Carl Jr. and Pac taking that home. But let's take a look at one of these replays where Grenade denies Kappa the snipe attempt here in the ending, if we can jump into that.
It does seem like Grenadi's line is better. It's scary to go that wide on this platform. Looks like he doesn't even know where he's going, but then he sets up for that drift, gets no airtime, gets all the speed to the finish, and it pays off.
Yeah, it does pay off, and I mean, I wonder if we're gonna see other teams go for that line. Is that also why he's not going for the between the trees, you think?
Yeah, because if you go between the trees like Tween did, then you cannot do that wide line. So there's different philosophies about it. And then here, of course, the round that nearly ended it, where Sinners were able to survive a possible ace and get themselves back. We are going to go to a quick break, guys. We got one more game of the day. It is a French battle between Carmine Corp and Gamers First. 2 young squads, 3 of the players under the age of 20, and then Bren, one of the most experienced players.
I'm looking forward to that game. I think that game is going to be amazing. And therefore, you should not go anywhere. We will be right back.